Hi guys, it's Arvin Bora with a quick Libertarian Party social media strategy update. First of all, we have grown and expanded in ways that, when we first started this project a couple of years ago, I don't think any of us would have imagined. We have, the teams like Design for Liberty, our candidate support team, and all of them have just grown up and just gotten to a level that's really, really, I think, awesome, and certainly much farther along than expected. In the initial phase of this program, we were just basically using whatever we could find around the internet and posting that, and now we've gotten to the point where we're designing a lot more of our own stuff. And so what we're now going to be doing is we're taking our social media program to the next level. And what that means is this: we're going to, instead of what we had in the past, which is the separation of candidate memes and viral memes, we're going to combine everything into one. And so we're going to combine virality and partisanship. So what that means on a practical level is a few things. First of all, we're going to only be putting out partisan content about candidates ever. So anything that's nonpartisan, anything that's just a general principle about liberty, or anything that's just a general quote from somebody who's maybe like a famous person that happens to be libertarian, we're not using any of that anymore. Instead, we're going to only be using quotes from Libertarian Party candidates and encouraging everybody in the Libertarian Party to share that. Now, of course, that means that we need to do a few things. One, we have to decide what message do we want. The first thing is this: all images must contain a pledge to cut something. It doesn't have to be the central point of the image, but it has to be somewhere on the image a pledge to cut something. And every image must contain at least one benefit. Not describing a problem with, for example, the Department of Education, but a benefit of eliminating the Department of Education. So you must have at least one cut, at least one benefit. And now the question is, how are we going to make them viral? We can do what we've been doing the whole time, seeing messages that go viral, and now what we're going to do is we're just going to turn those viral memes into candidate memes. I'm going to give you a simple example. Suppose that there's a meme that's gone super viral that says, end the war on drugs. To turn that into a candidate meme is very easy. We just need to say, for example, in small letters at the top, if elected, I will sponsor legislation to, then huge letters, end the war on drugs. And then below that you can write in small letters, doing so will reduce violent crime, as to talk about one benefit. So it's not really that the focus on virality is any less or any different. It's just that now we want to turn those viral memes into candidate memes. That's going to require us all to work pretty closely together. I'll be working closely with it. I know that Leanne and Jeffrey will be working with the candidates and all that. Just as a candidate myself, if you have a cool idea for a meme and there's no other candidate that's willing to have their name on it, I'm totally happy for you guys to use my name. Or if there's other candidates, use really anybody who's anybody's name who's of course willing to agree with the idea that's being presented. So long story short, we're kind of graduating right now to the next level, and the next level is 100% partisan candidate-based memes that are still viral. So we're talking about viral candidate memes. Everything should be about candidates. And now that's enough. That's the basic information. I'm just going to now close out by talking about a few important points. One question that comes up is, why are benefits so important? Why can't we just talk about problems? I'll give you a real simple example. Chemotherapy makes you lose your hair. It makes you lose your appetite. It makes you feel sick. It's really unpleasant. But that by itself is not really reason to not do it. You see my point? So no matter how many problems you describe with something, that is not a reason to eliminate it. However, a benefit is a much more compelling reason to eliminate it. That's one reason. The other reason is people are attracted to positive things. You attract more flies with honey than with vinegar, as they say. So we want to keep things as positive as we possibly can. So instead of saying the Department of Education is a huge waste of money, you can say, by ending the Department of Education, we'll be able to reduce taxes. By ending the Department of Education, we can encourage educational innovation. By ending the Department of Education, we can drive down the cost of college. So the point is, we want to talk about these benefits that go to everybody. Secondly, why is it important to have a cut? We need to have an action. If there's no action item, if we're not saying that this is a thing that our candidates will do, that the other candidate won't do, then we're going to get bogged down in those like stupid discussions about which candidate's more likely to win or whatever. Because because the only thing we're talking about then is just winning. Now, if we say that this candidate is going to sponsor legislation to end the war on drugs, the question no longer becomes which candidate's likely to win. It becomes which candidate is likely to sponsor legislation to end the war on drugs. Is the one that's said it 50,000 times, or is the one that said that he's not going to do it? And then we actually get into some real political motion towards, for example, in this case, ending the war on drugs. So, again, to recap, everything should be partisan. Everything should be viral as much as possible. I mean, it's more important for it to be partisan than be viral, to be totally frank. But ideally, we want it to be both. We want it to be partisan, viral, include a cut, and include at least one benefit. And play around with the graphics as much as you want to. If you want to put something in smaller font or smaller print, that's totally fine. On the other side, we're going to be encouraging everybody in the party to get behind specific, to share these partisan memes, so that it's no longer just like, here's some libertarian ideas that the Republicans can pay lip service to, or that the Democrats can pay lip service to, but here is a candidate that's going to do this. Okay, so let's see. Hopefully this new phase will go relatively smoothly, and we're going to have a massively improved social media presence over the next weeks.